Hi, I'm Sandi Genovese, and look at the fun ornaments that we're going to make today. And believe it or not, all it takes is a little bit of ribbon and circle shapes. And then whatever paper you want to use. I use leftover scrapbook paper. So, because it only is going to take scraps, believe it or not. Look at how cool these are all done the exact same way. These happen to all be circles, cut the same size. And if I let me set a few of them down so I can maneuver this one around a little and kind of show you into the various angles. This is all just done with 3 different size circles that are cut and folded and then attached to an additional circle. And then a ribbon is used to attach to the middle circle, which is just an easy way to be able to hang it if you want to use it as an actual ornament for a tree. If you decide you want to make a really big, my dad would call it the over Pete's sake size, look how cool. I just started with a really big circle with this one, and same done exactly the same way, just with much bigger circles. Let's look at how to assemble these little guys. What I did was I started with 3 sizes of circles. So I'm going to bring them all here. And before we actually start cutting and folding the circles, I thought I would reference that if you're using scrapbook paper scraps that's white on one side, if it bothers you to have white be one of the colors in your color story, then you're going to want to back it with other colored paper first so that this polka dot paper is now 2-sided. You can also find scrapbook paper that's 2-sided. That works great. And I have one example here where I actually wanted white to be one of my colors. So if you look inside, there is white as one of the colors. And sometimes I think white is fun. It really makes the other colors accent. So it's up to you. But if you don't want white to be one of the colors in your ornament, one of the dominant colors, then you're going to want to back any paper that is white on one side with whatever color you want to back it with. Create double-sided paper first, then cut your circles. My smallest size circle, I need 4 of these, and the smallest circle is 2.5 inches, and there's 4 of them. I need 1 that's going to be the center, and this is 2 3/4 inch circle. And then my largest size circle, I need 4 of these. These are 3-inch circles. So 3 inches, 2 3/4, 2.5. And of course, the size of your circles can vary. Once you do make one of them and you see how easy it is to do and how fun, it's kind of fun to play with all different size circles. This is the circle around which everything else will rotate. But first, we have to fold and cut these other circles. So the first thing that you want to do is just take each of the patterned paper circles and fold them in half. If you want to, I guess you could score them first, but folding in half is really a simple thing to do without bothering to measure or score. So I'm going to fold all these in half. Now, this was my 2.5 inch circle. I cut an extra 2.5 inch circle, and I'm using this as my guide so that I can see where I'm going to cut these circles. So this was my 2.5 inch circle. I cut it in half, and then I folded in half. And this is going to give me a place so that I can see where I'm going to mark. Now, as I'm getting ready to cut, I'm realizing that this is going to put the solid pink as the more predominant placement on the ornament. So I'm going to reverse fold. I want that polka dot pattern to be really obvious. So it needs to be on the inside of my folds. So I'm just going to reverse all those folds I just made. Simple enough. Now I'm going to take the quarter circle and I'm going to use this as a guide so that I can mark with a pencil. So I'm going to set this down and make it a little bit easier for you to see what I'm doing. I'm going to lay this down and use this so that I can mark where my half circle goes. Now, That's the half circle. I'm not going to go all the way to the edge. In fact, not even quite that far. I'm going to go close to the edge, but not all the way. So from the fold, which is here, to, I'm leaving about almost a 1/4 inch, maybe not quite a 1/4 inch, between an 1/8 and a 1/4 inch. And I'm going to do the same thing on all 4 of my folded circles. Just lay it down and trace it. Once you have them all marked, then go back with the scissors and starting from the fold line, cut along your pencil edge and stop. Obviously, you don't want to cut it all the way in half. You're just going to cut and leave about a 1/4 inch. Do the same thing with all of these. And now you're going to repeat the same process with these larger circles. So once again, if I want the pattern paper to be more predominant, it's going to be folded on the inside. So I'm going to fold all of these circles in half and just repeat the same thing as what I just did with the pink polka dot circles. Now here was my larger circle that I folded into 4ths, and I'm going to use this as my guide to mark my larger circles. So I'm going to lay it down. And mark it. And once you've marked it with the scissors, you're going to cut on the pencil line. I left a good 1/4 inch on these larger circles. As I'm cutting, I'm stopping with a nice 1/4 inch left. Okay, now it's just assembly. So I find that it's easiest to go ahead and punch out the hanger first. So I'm going to pick anywhere along the circle, and I'm just using an 1/8 inch hole punch, and I'm going to punch a hole. I kind of like for the hanger to be part of the design, so I picked a contrasting color, but you don't have to. You can pick a matching color if you want it to sort of blend in. And what I'm going to do first, this depends on how long you want this to hang. I think that I only need this to be about this long, so I am going to tie this ribbon just into, usually a single knot is enough because it's 2 layers. If it's going to slip through the hole, you would just tie another one and go ahead and then get my tweezers. It'll make it a little easier to really poke it through. There you go. So this is going to be the hanger, and it's just easier to do when you don't have all those other pieces hanging around. Now it's just assembly. So I'm going to take each of these and I'm going to slide them onto the circle. And since I did 4 of them, roughly I want to open them up so that they inhabit about 1/4 of the circle. And I'll try to keep turning it towards you so you can see what I mean. I'm going to slide it right over the circle and spread it out until it takes up about 1/4. Just continue to work your way around. What's nice about this is all of this assembly can be redone. If you put 2 colors together and they're not your favorite, you can switch them up because none of this is done with glue. It's just the slits and the folds that's holding everything together. So you can see now that basically each one of these is opened up so that they're covering about a fourth of that first circle. And it doesn't need to be exact. Now I'm going to go back with the pink polka dots and I'm going to slide them so that they fit in between each of these larger circles. They're going to just nest inside. Let me do this first one so it sort of faces you and you can see what I mean. Open it up. This is why it needs to be a smaller circle, because you want that cool design of the smaller one that's nesting inside the larger one. So work your way around and do the same thing. Slide the circle over the red circle and open it up. I'll take the pink and slide it right over the red and open that little guy up. And then do the same thing with the final one. And at any point, if you think, gosh, I think I should have cut a little deeper into those first circles, you can always take it off and redo. But look how quickly and easily you create the most fun looking ornaments, a really special effect, and so easy to do. The kids, once they've made one, honestly, you're going to have a hard time getting them to stop because they are going to just want to make tons of them. If you have a color theme, how great is it? You can make all your own ornaments and have them match the theme for your tree. And if you have just leftover scraps of scrapbook paper, this is the perfect project to use those little guys up. You know, who knew? A few circle shapes and some ribbon could become such cool little ornaments.